Hello, everyone. Welcome to the iWoman Report. I'm Cathleen Trigg-Jones. Every year in our country, more than 200,000 girls and young women under the age of 21 and more than 60,000 women over the age of 21 go missing. That's 250,000 women and girls reported missing every year in our country. Thousands of them still missing right now, this minute, today, as we speak. Are we facing an epidemic? Today on our iWoman Report, we will be speaking with a mother right here in New York City who is in the middle of a desperate search for her 23-year-old daughter this very minute, who you likely have never heard about. Why? Because she and thousands of other young women who are missing have not captured the headlines of national media. And we want to investigate why that is and do our part at iWoman TV to change it. What happens when a young girl or woman is missing and reported missing in our country? Sadly, the majority you never hear about, unless, of course, the missing woman is a charismatic and what society may deem attractive young woman or influencer who also happens to be white, as was the case with Gabby Petito, who captured the world's heart last year. You will recall the search for Gabby, who went missing with her fiance last summer, topped every major headline and dominated cable news every single day for nearly a month until her body was tragically recovered last September. Her fiance, who she live streamed with on social media every day as they traveled the country together, was also later found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and it was later revealed that he admitted to killing Pepito in a notebook that he left behind. Her story is now being turned into a Lifetime movie. But I ask you, what makes one missing person case worthy of such national attention while others go virtually unmentioned? Joining me right now is Toquana Baker, whose daughter, TiJae, went missing May 1st of this year, just a little over a month ago. She was here in New York City, and she went missing when she told her mother that she was taking the bus to Washington, D.C. to make posters for a woman that she had met online. Toquana, you have not seen your daughter since that day on May 1st when she left, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I just want to say that Toquana is actually in the car right now on her way from D.C. to Baltimore because she got a clue about her daughter's whereabouts. I know you're right in the mix at this moment as we speak, looking for your daughter on the streets in Baltimore. She's 23 years old, 5'7", 130 pounds, and she went missing a little over a month ago. Just tell us what you're doing now.
What am I doing now? I'm in the search.
Yes, bring us up to speed.
I'm in the search of finding my daughter. I'm hitting these streets. I'm in these backyards, these alleyways, these woods that they not in, the police are not in, and yet they got a sighting of my daughter. And this is why I say the system failed Black people, because they're not doing a proper surveillance or canvas of this area where my daughter could be caught and found right as of now. Since Saturday, she's been spotted somewhere, and she's I don't know what state she in or what they did to her, but when she made that phone call, to me, it was obvious she ran away from whatever she ran away from, and she need help. Now she don't know this place. Now of certain people from stores telling me she was in here, she was in there, or whatever. Now these cops that I come in contact with,
we lost you for a second. You went on mute, but I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you though, Toquana. Let me just bring our viewers up to speed. Yeah, when your daughter went missing, she made a phone call to you. You're not just making this up. When she got to DC,
she made a phone call a month later. Whenever she got away, to me, it's like she got away from wherever she got away from, and they could have did. And they could have found my daughter that day. They could have did what they did for that white woman when they found her in the woods, and they didn't question how old she was. When they diverted me for a whole 2 weeks, because, oh, she's 23, she's doing this, she's doing that. But for a whole 2 weeks, they tried to divert me. Oh, she's probably with a boyfriend. Oh, she's probably running away. But they found that white woman in how long? 3 weeks, 2 weeks? I need the proper search like that. Now, my daughter was located here. If y'all would have did the proper surveillance or took down these surveillance cameras, searches, and with the dogs, the flashlights, my daughter would be found right now. Why is it that I got to go in the woods? Why is it that and I'm going to do it because I'm her mother, and the only one that's going to do it is her mother. And that's why I'm out here now. Because if ain't nobody going to do it, it's her mother that's going to do it. And they not doing the proper canvases and the proper way of going in these stores that I'm reporting that she was found in. Because when she was reported in the store, I called the police to the scene. You should have went back there and got them cameras. You know how I knew they was able to see the cameras? Because the lady told me she was at aisle 16. That's how they was able. So if the lady was in there and she saw that, that means that the police officer could have saw the same thing she saw. But did they take an initiative to go a step further? No, they did not. No, they did not. They left it as that. Okay, I called later on that night. As I'm searching this area for her, it should be cops doing the same thing. They told me that it's Officer Hamilton.
Yeah, you keep muting. Let me stop you a second because I do want to make sure that we're letting viewers know what's happening. When your daughter went missing, you called police immediately here in New York City and told them. The police in New York City put up a poster, but that poster didn't say missing person. It said wanted missing person, correct? When your daughter first went missing, you called the police, and what happened?
When my daughter first went missing, I called the police. And they tried to divert me for a whole 2 weeks, telling me that she's partying. Oh, they see her outside, and they can't detain her. She's 23. You know, she can do what she wants. All this. I said, if you see my daughter outside, believe me, my daughter is being detained. My daughter not outside just walking the park, catching a breeze, drinking a milkshake. She's being detained and she's being stripped of everything where she couldn't get in contact with her family. So this is what they say to me. Oh, she's probably with a boyfriend. They diverted me with everything and they didn't care about the fact that she was 23 and out there. They didn't care. They tried to divert me and tell me all that. Yet my daughter just was seen. And she was just seen. They still lacking on their job and not doing the things that they supposed to do. I shouldn't have to beg for this help. This is what taxpayers pay their money for. When that girl was missing in the woods, what did they do? They sent them dogs. They had multiple cops searching for her. Why is it not the same for my daughter? My daughter had a chance to reach out for help on July the 1st or the 2nd. June 1st.
May. It was May. May 1st is when she went missing. May 1st,
she was missing. June 1st or the 2nd, she reached out at that nail salon and called. I gave them the footage. I was the first one there. No detectives was there. I was there.
She called, and what did she say? When she first left New York, what did she tell you?
That she was going to handle her business with the flyer thing, and that she'll be right back Monday.
Which was the next day?
Yes.
And you haven't heard from her? You heard from her a couple of times since then, or just one time since then?
No. One time she reached out, asked for help. Please come get me. And there was no help for her. The cops did nothing. Like I said, nobody did nothing. I tried 3 people that I thought could be close to my daughter to get to her before I could have got to her. They didn't even try. You got one person that said their car broke down. The other person said they needed a woman to go with them. Instead of just going there, watching my daughter so you could see which way she went, making sure she don't leave. She could have been saved. She could have been saved so many different people, but people chose to turn a blind eye and not look. The cops failed to do their job correctly. My daughter could have been found, and still she could be found now to this day. But PG County, whoever their sheriff is, whoever their inspector is, or their commander, I came across PG County Police 2 times. The first time when she made the call, they came out, I had them make this report that she was seen here at this nail salon. That's in PG County Police. Now, at this other new location, she was spotted. PG County Police. Why haven't I spoken to someone there?
Did they put posters up? Did they do anything?
No, they
when you reported her missing?
I put posters up. They didn't put posters up. PG County didn't put posters up. And now that you know she here, why it's not an extra search party? Where's the search party? Why didn't y'all lock that area down where she was last seen at? and do a real canvas the area. Why
Now,
only you sit there?
I saw a poster that said wanted instead of missing. Who made that poster?
The 75th precinct in
In
Brooklyn,
New
New
York
York.
City.
Yeah.
Tell me about TiJae. She was a college student. She had a career ahead of her.
She was a good kid. My daughter was nothing like me. I gave my mother hell. My daughter, I thought it was too good to be true. Really. Because all through her school, she never really gave me a problem. She gave me regular kids problems. You know the problem I have with my daughter today? Clean up your room. Take out the garbage. Other than that, she gives me no problem. She's home all the time. She helps family members out. She's always there for family gatherings. She never missed a Mother's Day. And that's why I was so hurt this Mother's Day, because she never missed a Mother's Day ever. She has certain morals that's installed in her. She know better. I don't have to search for my daughter. My daughter goes to school, go to work. She do her little entrepreneur business, trying to get it set up, and she comes home. My daughter don't have people in and out my house, never. This is why I couldn't pinpoint some of her friends, because my daughter don't have company. We don't have company. My daughter's home. When they say 10 o'clock where your kids is, I didn't never have to worry because I knew where mine was. She wasn't the typical, when she was 18 and graduating high school, yeah, that's the only time she did like running around. As far as being at senior trips, everybody was about to graduate. They all want to go to the beach. This is stuff that the kids do when they're in the 12th grade. But that's the most she moved around ever during that time. This day and age, my daughter does not hang out. She is not a club person. She is not one to just hang on the streets and just linger and go out. Oh my, I'll be back at 11 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock. No, she'll go out at a decent time. She'll tell me. And if she ever spent the night out, she will let me know, and she will let me know who house, and she'll be back tomorrow. There's no running away. She's grown and she want to spend the night out, she can. But she knows she have to say something to me. And it's not that she have to, it's the way I raised her.
Right. Right. You know your daughter. TiJae would not do this, and you know that. She's a college student. She had a lot ahead of her. You're out there right now in the streets in Baltimore, going street to street, block to block, looking for her as we speak. You said you had a lead right now, and that's what you're chasing. What did they tell you?
PG County is not doing nothing. I really don't want to give too much information because I don't know the people that really have my daughter, if they're still looking for her, they're still out here. I know it's a secret society. I know it's like some type of cult. I know it's more than them.
Let us see what you're doing there. I want viewers to really see how you're out here doing this on your own, taking matters into your own hands. Let us see that flyer.
Excuse me. Have you seen a young girl, TiJae Baker? She was last seen like a black hoodie. She like slim, like she might be injured, like her feet. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes.
You said you know who these people are. Who do you think they are?
They are a part of, it's some Haitian name or a Nigerian name. And the girl is, she go by multiple aliases. She actually, when I think about this whole thing and me doing all this investigating and footwork, when I think about the whole thing, she really preyed on my daughter and she really lowered my daughter out here. And she really, I don't know if she thought that she was like, didn't have a mother that was going to do anything about this. But I mean, any mother, if you prey on their kids and you take their kids, any mother that had a kid would be out here doing the same thing I'm doing. But the fact that when I think about this, of how this young lady resides in Maryland and she took my daughter to DC, and you could have sent her to a bus station or the Amtrak or the train station that was near you. Oh, you did this on purpose. You plotted this. And then the fact that she gave my daughter a real name that my daughter thought was a real name and it wasn't. She has mad aliases. And when I went to the grandmother house, they told me her real name is Tatiana. Right now, Tatiana, she's erasing all her Facebook. And the other person that contacted me and said that this is her sister, that's Radisha Brown or Tatiana Davis, Tatiana Hope. This person had a brother reach out to me to tell me to leave his sister alone. Excuse me, but this is his words and his text message exactly.
So
I
these
only reached
people are
out
not
to her.
cooperating with you. They're not
No, not
cooperating
at
with
all.
you.
My daughter been going May 1st. And ever
It's
since
May
May 1st,
1st.
I've been out here. I've been out here on it.
Yeah, where are the authorities working together? DC and New York and New Jersey, everyone should be working together right now.
Exactly, but they're not. You know when DC officials reached out to me today, a month and 2 weeks almost in of my daughter being missing today. And they felt me. They felt my daughter. They could have got footage of my daughter, but they did not. I was not leaving. My daughter stepped foot here. I'm staying here until I get another lead. My next lead was a whole month later. But between that, I was back and forth from DC to the other side of Baltimore. And I was in Maryland and Baltimore on Augusta. Augusta and Frederick Avenue or Frederick Douglass is one of those heavy sex trafficking, heavy drugs in that area. And this is where the girl that lured my daughter, this is where her grandmother lived at. Also where my daughter was seen. But yet, this is the girl that told me 5 different lies and told me my daughter never made it. But somehow she's with your family member and everybody saw her on this side of the hood. Come on. But the DTs went there. Detective Van Manning from Brooklyn, the 75th, he sent out something to PG County. One of their detectives or officers went to this young girl house, the grandmother house, and they went with a simple no. When they could have pulled down, they only have one grocery store really around here that everyone goes to. I went to that grocery store. The man told me exactly what she bought. Somebody told me that she dropped something and they pick it up. They did not know that was my daughter. He helped me all night put up flyers in Baltimore on that rough side. All night he stayed with me and helped me put up flyers because he said, I feel so bad for you because I just was speaking to her and not too long ago. I believe she ran from that side and she ended up on that side. Whatever, she ran from something, and therefore you had a chance to get my daughter and you did not save her and you did not care. You sent one cop car out there to sit in front of the nail salon instead of having multiple cops canvass the area with dogs, with lights, with flashlights, the same treatment y'all gave the white woman that y'all found.
Right. Well, Toquana, I'm speechless. I don't know what we can do, what we can say to help you. All I can do is pledge our support. We will do everything we can to get as many people's eyes on this case as possible. We'll call the local authorities.
Let me tell you how I need help. I need help getting to these officials in Maryland that wasn't doing their job. In PG County, I need to speak to the commanders, the chief of staff, somebody that's out here so I could get more help. It's just me and 2 people on the ground. We cannot do it by ourselves and find my daughter. And we shouldn't have to. This is what the taxpayers pay for. We should have to. If I'm coming to them for help, why are they not giving the proper assistance? This is what I need help with. I'm out here. I lost my job. I resigned from my job. I stay in my car some nights. Some nights I have hotels. It's hard. And I'm still out here doing it. There's not no organization helping me. There's not no people behind me.
I'm really sorry, Toquana. I really am. I really am. We will do what we can. We will do what we can. We're going to call on as many people as we can to jump in and try to help. Just you taking the time right now while you're out there makes such a difference. And I hope that we can support you in your search and that TiJae comes back and that she picks up that phone and she calls you.
People are unaware in DC. People are unaware in Maryland. And this is where she is. People don't know unless I walk up to them and say it, or unless they saw the poster or Instagram. People should know. It's been over a month and change. People should know when she was seen June 1st or June 2nd at that nail salon, from then it should have been it. It should have been all over, and the police should have been all over it. No, they weren't. And these are the people that I'm going to hold accountable in these precincts that should have been out here, canvassing the area.
Absolutely. Well, you have every right to be upset. Listen, I know you need to get out there and continue to go and look. That's getting ready to get dark soon. So I want to give you that space. Listen, Toquana, we're here 100%. We won't let this die down. We'll continue to cover it. We'll put it on social media. We'll put it on TV. We'll do everything that we can to support you. But please do me a favor and keep in touch with us. If you hear something that we can follow, let us know. You know, and just keep your spirits up. I'm positive your daughter's going to be okay, and you're going to be reunited with her. You're doing what any caring, loving mother would do. And I pray that you get the results that you need to be able to sleep at night. You said you're living in a car right now, sometimes in a hotel. Is there a fund or anything that we can do to send money if people want to help you in some way?
I'm using a Cash app right now. It's a money symbol, REESEBEV. They can send money through that, but I'm trying to set up a GoFundMe page for TiJae. So until then you could just give money through the Cash app if you want. But any help, it don't only have to be money. Any help is good. If you share the poster, if you put up a poster, if you tell somebody, if you call an elected official, any help is good.
Okay, we'll be on it. We're going to put up that that address you just gave us on the screen. As soon as you get the GoFundMe set up, let us know. If you need help with any of that, let us know. And I wish you the absolute best. But please keep in touch with me. You have my information, so please keep in touch with me. Okay, Toquana.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Bye. That was the most raw emotion that you can ever get from a parent. To be able to witness Toquana out there in the streets right now, desperately looking for her daughter and feeling like she's all alone is just, it's too much. It's too much. And it does make you wonder, why? What is the difference? Why is no one covering the story of this missing 23-year-old college student? Why? Is it because she's Black? Is it because, you know, there's so many missing person cases? We've got to do better. We have to do better. We want to keep putting up TiJae's poster as much as possible in hopes that someone out there watching, someone may recognize her. So if you see anything, please say something. Of course, if you know something, if you have a tip, you can call. Again, TiJae is 5'7", 130 pounds. The number to report tips here in New York City is 1-800-577-TIPS. That's 1-800-577-TIPS. I do want to move on. This is a crisis that we're facing. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, of the 600,000 people who go missing every single year in the United States, 80% of the minors and 75% of missing adults are found within the first 24 to 72 hours. Listen to that. They're found within the first 24 to 72 hours. Toquana said she has begged for help. It's been over 6 weeks since her daughter disappeared. Those who remain missing for more than a year, oftentimes, unfortunately, are found deceased. So we know enough to know that time is of the essence. When a person is reported missing, we have to do something right away. Maybe it will be a mistake, and that's okay as long as we bring our daughters home. One of the biggest concerns for young women and girls who do go missing, and especially young Black women, is the very real possibility that they may be caught up in some kind of a trafficking ring, a sex trafficking ring. It's a huge concern for TiJae Baker. She definitely is worried about her daughter. TiJae. Some might even call it an urgent crisis that is the reality for so many women who go missing. And according to the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, who did a study, young black women are more often the victims. And that brings me to my question of the day. Are stricter laws needed to address human trafficking? And what do you think should be done? We want to hear from you. Leave your comments below. Take our poll on our social media at iWomanTV. Right now, I want to bring on an expert to talk about what we should be doing as a community. I'm talking about parents, schools, law enforcement, clergy included, to respond to crises like these. Jennifer Madera is the Director of Runaway and Homeless Youth and Safe Harbor Services in New York. She has dedicated her life to working with young girls and women most at risk of trafficking and crimes against women. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today. You know, we've been talking about this one particular young woman who's missing in Washington, D.C., who got on a bus one day, or a train one day from New York about a month ago, and went to D.C. to meet up with a woman that she met online and hasn't been seen since. Her mother is desperately looking for her. Unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, this young woman is just one of thousands of missing girls. And you see this firsthand working with them every day, don't you? Tell me about the work that you do. And by the time someone comes to you, what have they been through?
So I oversee several programs that have contact with young women who have been trafficked or exploited. I oversee the Runaway and Homeless Youth Shelter. A lot of times we're able to identify a young person who is being trafficked through different assessments that we do there with young people. I also oversee therapeutic groups for young women who have experienced this. And I oversee a residential facility for young women who are in foster care, 5-bed facility, ages 12 to 21. So by the time young people have come to us, they have experienced complex sexual trauma, lots of abuse, domestic violence. You know, they come to us having lots of issues with substances, because that's kind of part of the trafficking. If they keep you under the influence, you're more likely, or addicted, you're more likely to engage in sex work. And we see a lot of young women being trafficked for survival needs, a place to stay, food to eat, transportation. So we see a lot of that.
That's unbelievable to me. Can you talk about signs? Is there any way possible for a parent to know whether their child is involved, their daughter's involved in something like this, an illegal sex crime ring?
So there's, no 100% proof way to know unless there's disclosure, but certainly there are a lot of high risk indicators that you would look for. So some of the things that you would look for is behavioral changes, mood changes in the child, disinterest in activities that they had prior. Not spending time with friends that they used to spend time with, right? New friends, that's always something to look out for. Spending time with older people, male or female. I think that we tend to think that only men are traffickers, and that's certainly very false. If they're spending a lot of time with older individuals who may drive or may be from somewhere outside of your community. Material items, right? So a lot of parents find out because they're seeing the kid is coming home with a new cell phone, fancy makeup, getting their hair done, getting their nails done, and they know that that was not money that they had earned. Substance abuse is a big indicator because it is definitely a big part of the grooming process. So a lot of times what my young girls describe is they think they're gonna smoke weed with an older person, some guy they might think is cute, and oftentimes they'll lace those drugs, or they'll offer them other drugs at that point in hopes of creating this dependency.
Wow. So what can parents do if you could sit down a group of mothers and fathers and community leaders, what would you say? You know, wake up, this is what we need to do to so that your child, your daughter, so that I don't have a job at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, you don't want to have to do the work that you do, I would imagine.
What I would say to parents, I think whenever possible, and I know this is really difficult with two parents working in the household, but spending time with your child, having conversations with your child beyond just how was school is super duper important and is a huge preventive factor. Knowing who your child's friends are, whenever possible. I know sometimes with the older teenagers, a little more difficult. Having access to their passwords, having access to their electronics. But if you suspect something, being able to easily and readily kind of go in and look at some of those things, that's really, really important. And I think for those parents that are able to get their young people involved in pro-social activities, getting your child doing something, exposing them to something different, those things are really helpful. And finding out what resources your community has for young people.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, I honestly, Jennifer, could go on and on and on. I have so many questions, so we'll have to have you come back. But I really wanted to continue this conversation. The purpose of our show today really is to start making this a priority. There are many women, and the bottom line is I know we can't solve every missing person case, but I think that we owe it to the young women out there, our daughters, our sisters, our mothers, those who are out there that are just targets, sitting targets for these traffickers to arm them with the information, as much information as possible. So thank you so much for the work that you do. And again, we'll come back. Is there a website or someplace that people could find you and information on how you might be able to help them?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. If you go to childrensvillage.com, which is the general website for my agency, if you put Empower Programs, my contact information will come up. And I can also give you guys our hotline information. If you suspect your child is being trafficked, you want more information about what that is, you want to get resources to prevent that, we are here. So that hotline number is 1-855-690-SAFE, which is 7233.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much again, Jennifer. Some great information there. The bottom line is this is a national, in fact, it's an international crisis that we all should be concerned about, which brings me to my thought of the day. I can think of no greater fear for a parent than when a child goes missing. I don't care how old they are, whether it's a few hours, a few days, months, or years. I spent many years as a reporter covering local news stories, and when I came into a family's life, it was typically under the worst of circumstances, the worst day of their life. We often don't think it can happen to us or our family until it does, and then every nerve in a parent's body reacts. The sense of desperation takes over, and everything in you as a parent becomes focused on finding your missing child, as you saw with Toquana Baker. The internet has exposed our young women to an entire world of danger right in the palm of our hands. By the time you realize your daughter is in danger, it's usually already too late. We've got to do better. We owe it to our daughters to do better. There should never be a case when a parent calls authorities out of concern for their missing child and they're made to feel dumb for picking up the phone. I don't care how old they are. So what if it's false? What if it's a false alarm? So what if she did run away with a boyfriend or meet up with someone that she met online? So did Gabby Petito, and we couldn't get enough of the search for her in her final days, which we know tragically turned out in death. If only we could have done more. Let's not wait until it's too late to swing into action. We have an opportunity, especially in the first 24 hours, to bring our missing daughter or son home alive. So why do we wait? We can't solve every missing person case in one day, but we owe it to our young women and girls, and especially young Black girls and women who are most at risk, to make this a priority. We must equip them with the knowledge that could make the difference between life and death. I want to leave you with another look at the missing person flyer for TiJae Baker. If you see or know anything at all, please say something. That number again is 1-800-577-TIPS, 1-800-577-TIPS. I want to thank you all for joining us for this iWoman Report. Everyone, please stay healthy, stay happy, and stay safe.